Welcome students to a walkthrough of our next community analysis free online website, and this one is called CensusScope. Now, there is an important caveat in using CensusScope. It is regarding the data currency. Now, CensusScope draws on census data through 2000 and 2010. Some charts actually stop at 2000. So you would be using this website as a collection developer for its historical trend analysis, not current demographics. Okay? Always pairs Census Scope as a trend companion, telling a trend story with current figures from data.census.gov. So what is CensusScope? Well, you can see a little bit on the page here. It was built by the Social Science Data Analysis Network at the University of Michigan. And it takes census data and packages it into pre-built charts and visualizations that require zero data skills to read. It is particularly valuable for presenting demographic trends to library boards and administrators because it produces the kind of visual storytelling that a table of numbers never will. The site is free, as I said, and it requires no account, and it covers states, metro areas, and counties. It has four main sections, which we'll look at in just a sec, and it's accessed via these four tabs you see up here: charts and trends, maps, rankings, and segregation. Now, the charts and trends are the most useful section for collection developers. The maps are geographic distribution of key demographic variables. The rankings are state and county rankings by population growth, race, education, and some other ones as well. Segregation shows you the dissimilarity measures for some cities and metro areas. So let's get started. When you land on CensusScope, you'll go to, I think the best one for collection developers is this charts and trends area. You'll see a left navigation panel listing all available topics here, and a change location panel below that. The site defaults to the United States, that highest level it has. So always change your location before reading any results. Otherwise, you're looking at national figures, not your community. So let's change the location panel here. All right. So you'll see that it either defaults directly to state. You could pick a state, get state level, or you could choose a metro area. And there's, I think, 50 or 60, it looks like a little more than that now, variables here. Since we were looking at Banning and Beaumont, I'm not sure it's big enough for, let's see, Beaumont Port, that's Texas. So let's choose just one of these. We'll choose Bremerton, Washington, and then click on View Chart. See how easy that was? You'll get some stuff from, you see the city we're doing that here. Changing location again, click on Zoom Out. Choose a metro area. We'll choose Akron, Ohio now. And then view the chart. Akron, Ohio has been changed. Just a tip here, the change location for metro and state will guide your search. It will default to state, so be careful what you're choosing here, or if you want to see community information. So they're separate. it's easy to accidentally select a metro area in the wrong state. For example, um, let's choose California metro area. See, you're not getting California. You're getting just a metro area nationally. So be careful what you choose there. I guess that's my caveat for you. So go back to Akron here. View the chart. Akron, Ohio. All right. So this we're going to click on this. Shows the charts that are available over here: population growth, population by race, age distribution, etc. Let's click on population growth, and this shows a line chart of total population from 1960 to 2000 with a data table below it. The raw numbers that are depicted here are shown here in the data tables, and the percent changes for each decade. So what would you look for here? Well, a steadily rising line shows you that a growing community, one that may have outpaced older collection assumptions. So you might want to change your collection assumptions here. A flat or declining line might show a shrinking community where circulation patterns may be shifting. A really steep spike shows rapid growth. Let's see. This really signals the collection was built for a much smaller community. So you might want to readjust your assumptions about your collections. Now, I'm interested to see here if we choose state, California, if Beaumont would show on a state level. Now, this is just all of California. Sometimes they'll list by individual metro areas within that as well. Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay. So I chose California first, and then chose a metro area within that. So we're still in California, choosing a metro area. This is what I was trying to point out, that these are separate panes. And let's look at choosing a metro area. I wonder if Beaumont shows here. Unfortunately not. We could do maybe a county area. Riverside, I think, is... All right. Well, this is close. You see the population growth here in Riverside County, a huge spike before in the 40 years that the census was taken. It just keeps growing and growing. The population is really an interesting thing for us to look at because of the fact that, as I said, anything that spikes, as you see here, a rapid growth might show that our collection was built for a smaller community, and we might need to adjust that as well. So let's look at population by race. The stacked bar, these are called a stacked bar chart, a stacked bar chart of racial and ethnic composition for 1980, 90, and 2000, with some detailed data below here in the data tables, breaking out Hispanic, Black, non-white, etc. I think, as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the more powerful charts in the site. for us collection development, especially in making arguments, because it shows the direction and rate of change, not just a single data point. So a community whose Hispanic population grew from, say, see the Hispanic population here in 1980 is now grown significantly, almost by 40% more, if I'm reading those numbers right. So it's showing us that, over the 20 or 30 years that we've been tracking this in these numbers, we grew significantly, and this growing Hispanic segment is a good documented case for expanding our Spanish language collection. Any let's see, Asian is not showing much here. Non-Hispanic, white, obviously black. So that's really what I'm seeing is the in this race by ethnicity is this tremendous growth in the Hispanic population. Now let's click on age distribution. This shows a horizontal population pyramid with age groups on the vertical axis and the male female population bars here, extending left and right from the center. A data table below this gives exact numbers by sex for each group. So how to read this: a wide base, something that is narrow on the top or is bottom heavy, if you will, shows a young growing community, which would make a strong case for children's and young adult investment. A wide middle base might show a good, stable, middle-aged community, practical adult, nonfiction, career, health, etc. A narrow base, something narrow down here, would be top-heavy, aging, possibly shrinking community, large print, health, literacy, memoir, older adult programming, etc. So these sort of pyramids will give us a good picture. How would you utilize this sort of information in a collection development application? A community whose age pyramid shows a wide 0 to 14, down here, a wide base argues for children's programming. The opposite would be true if it's wider up here. You have an aging community. For collection developers, I think that's not just factual. It's shown to you in a visual representation, which is easier for non-data crunchers to absorb and make sense of. If we click on language, for language, the chart shows the distribution of languages spoken at home, including the percentages of households that speak a language other than English, and within that group, the percentage that speak English less than very well. So the language chart really gives you the historical baseline. Pair it with current census data from data.census.gov to get you more factual and more recent information. Remember, this CensusScope is good for trend. Let's look at household and family structure. So these two charts round out a pretty complete community picture. The household and family structure shows the breakdown of married couples. You see the legend here. The breakdown of single parents, married household, non-family households, and average household size. So a community with a high percentage of families and children calls for a deeper investment in children's collections, parenting resources, and young adult. A community with many single person households may prioritize digital formats and individual use resources. So, um, check what the graph is showing us and see their percentages relevant or in relation to the other ones to give you an idea of what you might need in your collection. Again, your base numbers are listed here. We're going to try educational attainment as well. Going to periodically verify that we are not a robot. Shows the percentages of adults who have completed high school, some college, or have a bachelor's degree or graduate degree. So, a community, of course, with lower bachelor's degree attainment calls for accessible, more practical nonfiction and vocational resources over more academic titles. A highly educated community may sustain deeper, more specialized nonfiction collections. Again, the base numbers down here show us percentages. That'll give us a picture. So it looks like our largest numbers come from some high school graduates, some college and no degrees. So, yeah, you're looking for vocational and more practical information. So, the other charts here are interesting. They're for more um, in-depth research, but of interest to us as collection developers will be this top population growth, population by race, age, household, educational attainment, language. To some extent, industry and occupation would be interesting as well, showing us percentages of where people are working and how they relate. The Again, these are trend analysis, historical pictures, and maybe industry and occupation as well. What is useful for more specific value? The migration, which would show us who's moving in or who's moving out. The nativity and citizenship status shows us what our immigrant community might look like. Ancestry and ethnicity gives us some heritage detail. Some multiracial profiles, mixed race population, etc. And then the segregation and segregation test would be helpful for looking at equity analysis. So what does CensusScope do that no other free tool does? First, it gives us historical data from 1960 to 2000, 4 decades of trend data in pre-built charts. No other free tool that I'm aware of assembles this automatically for free. It's print friendly. There's a print friendly tab here that you can print to take out all the navigation tools or navigation clicks. It's easy to use. 3 clicks, usually a topic, a location, and then a chart. So you got 3 clicks. The argument best used for pairing CensusScope with a trend, a story, along with your current data from data.census.gov, which would provide the current figures. So then you get a more complete picture. So I would pair it with the data.census.gov. Some of the other ones that we look at separately in other presentations, Data USA to give current visual dashboards would complement CensusScope's historical picture. CDC Wonder, another site that we look at, adds the health dimension that CensusScope doesn't seem to cover over here in one of its topics. The county health rankings, again, current health measures by county, equally visual and board friendly. And Claritas Prism would add a good lifestyle behavioral context that the demographic data shown on census.scope wouldn't show. And that's all about CensusScope. I hope you can play with it and enjoy it. Thanks.